There we go. And action. Okay. So we are going to make a small programming project that we want to create a timer that will remind us to take a break every 2 hours. This is your Python output screen. You don't have to worry about that. This is your input where you're going to type your program. We're writing in a program language called Python.
Okay.
So let's say we want to play a YouTube video every 2 hours to remind us to take a break. So the first thing we're going to want to do is open a web browser programmatically.
Okay.
So in this case, if you look it up, you're going to end up with webbrowser.open.
All one word?
Web browser, yeah, dot open.
Open.
And then an open parentheses and an open quote. And let's find a YouTube video really quickly. We will just pick the first random one here. We're going to copy and paste that URL in there.
Okay.
And end it with a quote and a close parentheses.
That's not cool.
Alright. Now, go ahead and click Run.
Which one? One module?
Yes.
Okay.
Just name it Timer and save it.
Desktop. Save.
Perfect. Now when it runs, you get an error.
Okay.
Name error. Name web browser is not defined. Okay. So when you're programming, you have things called libraries.
Okay.
And to save memory, not all the libraries open when you run a code. So you have to tell it which libraries to enter. So go ahead and enter, do a tab return a couple of times on that line to bring it down.
Okay.
The web browser line. Bring that one down. There you go. Now above that, let's do import web browser. 2 words. There you go. Perfect. So now we've used the import command to tell Python we are going to be using the web browser library. So load that into memory and go ahead and rerun the program. Oh, okay, so it highlighted something because you have invalid syntax. Let's see what we did wrong. That actually doesn't.
Oh, that's because I don't know how to spell. Put browser.
Browser, okay. So run it again then. Still didn't like something, is it? Click OK. So it's highlighting web browser up there. Unfortunately, my eyes are not that great, so let me come over here where I can see. Make that a little. I don't think that's going to be it, but yep, that's exactly what it was.
Alright,
Yep.
running.
Run it again. Perfect. So now you can close that.
It's like,
Alright, so now what we want to do, we've got it to where it will open a web browser, but now what we want it to do is wait a certain amount of time. So we have to build a timer into it. Now I'll go ahead and tell you you need to import time. Perfect, and enter down a couple of times. Now we want to put in before the web browser time.sleep. So we're saying time parameter, and we want it to sleep, which means kind of hold itself. And in parentheses, put a 10. That's 10 seconds, but we don't want to wait 2 hours to see if the program works. So go ahead and hit F5. Now it should wait 5 seconds, or 10 seconds, excuse me. And let's see if it works. Brilliant. Okay, so close that again. Okay, so now the last thing we want to do is we want it to repeat every 2 hours. So what we want to do is we're going to set a total limit of 3. So add a little space between those 2 paragraphs there.
Right here?
Uh-huh.
Or here?
No, there, yeah.
Okay.
Add a few more. A few more, keep going. There you go. Now go up to the 4th line there. There you go. And let's put in total underscore breaks.
Total breaks.
Equals. You might want to put a space before and after the equal. I don't know that it matters, but 3. Let's do 3 breaks total.
Okay.
Now under that, let's do break underscore count equals 0.
Break underscore count equals 0.
Put your spaces in there. Just makes it easier to read too. Okay, now right above the time.sleep, we're going to use what's called a while loop, which means while something is happening or while something exists in a certain state to run that code. So we're going to do while, open parentheses, break underscore count, which we defined up there. That's now a variable, so we can refer to it as break count. While break count, comma, put a space there, space, comma, space. There you go. Put a less than sign. Oh, take out the comma and put a less than sign in.
Okay.
Total breaks. Close parentheses and a colon. So what it's saying is while the break count is less than the total breaks, which is 3, we could have also done it as while break count is less than 3, whatever. But when you program it this way, it gives you the option to maybe eventually later.
Yeah, we can change this.
Yeah, maybe later you could put a dialog box that says how many breaks do you want.
Yeah.
Okay, and then down at the very end of it, what we want to do is put break underscore count.
Up here on while?
No, the very last line.
Okay.
Yep, break count with the underscore equals.
Is it spaced over?
Break count equals break count plus 1. Okay, so basically what we're telling it to do is as long as the break count is less than 3, sleep, open the web browser, and then add 1 to the break count.
Yeah.
So now break count goes from 0 to 1.
And then this will be 1.
So
To 2, and then 3.
Right. So run this, F5, and enter. Yep. Uh-oh, what do we do?
Time.
Okay.
Import time. Time sleep.
Time.sleep. Let's see why we have an error there. Take out that colon. Try it, F5. Okay, now the colon has to be there. Change that back to a comma, the less than sign. That's what I originally had, but it doesn't quite make sense to me right now. Okay. Run it again. Okay, it still says time.sleep.
Does it need to be on its own line?
No, put a tab in front of it. That's how I have it on the original one, but I don't know that that matters. But let's see, put a tab in front of those last 2 as well. Now try it. Okay, so tabs are important syntax apparently. I assume it means everything that's under that while is kind of... Okay, so it ran once.
This one time. There's 2.
That's twice it ran. And there's the third time. Okay, so let's wait 10 seconds and make sure it doesn't run again.
So it should stop now.
Yeah, because it ran 3 times. Okay, it ran 4 times. Okay, we did something because it's continually running. Okay, so can we stop this?
Is there a stop thing?
I don't know, that's a good question. No, my computer will now forever run YouTube every 10 seconds.
Till we program it to stop.
Okay, so we need to figure out what...
Here, well, let's break the
see if you can look through the menu there, see if you can find a way to break it.
Just do that. I have some Russian talking to us for the rest of the day.
It says Russian plays Imperial March on coffee sticks. I'll have to go back and watch that later. That sounds funny. Okay. So now we have to figure out how to stop Python. One thing we can do is just close Python. Not ideal, but alright, so let's open the file break time that you saved. Or timer, yep. Okay, so total breaks equals 3, break count equals 0. So the first time it runs, break count will be 0, which is less than 3. Go ahead and change that back to a less than sign.
This one?
Yeah, I know my original code has a comma in there, but I'm not sure I get that. Now I'll F5 it. Let's see what happens. One. You probably don't even remember Sesame Street.
2. 3.
You know you can also click that.
No.
Yeah. That used to be an add-on. I don't remember if it still is or...
No more.
Okay, so how I ended up with a comma in there the first time, I don't know. But a less than sign does make sense, and it is working. So, okay, close those. Now the last thing we want to do is just above the while line.
Okay.
Let's add in print, open parentheses and open quotes. This program started on... Boy, it's a sentence. Capitalize that T.
Oh. I tried capitalizing import and it wouldn't let me.
Anything in quotes like that, though, is going to be something... Like, that's exactly the way it's going to print it. This program started on space, and then a close quote. No. I meant a space.
Oh.
You had already put a space in there. So, yeah, space, end quote. Plus the sign, yep. And then time.ctime. Open, close parentheses. Open and close. And then another close to close. Yep, there you go. So, let's Let's change that 10 to 2 seconds for now, just to speed things up. And F5. So it says here, it prints out here, this program started on in the current time. Perfect. And it ran 3 times. So now you go back through and tell me what each of those lines means.
Okay. Well, these two right here allow us to use time and web browser as like variables.
Right, it imports those libraries so that Python's ready to use those things.
Okay, and then these two are like our number counters to tell us how many we're at.
Right, those are actually called variables there.
Okay.
And yeah, so we've set 1 to 3, and the other one,
So,
we make it count up by that bottom line.
So libraries and variables.
Right.
And I don't know what this is for.
So that's what outputs this program started on, and then the plus C time, that knows after the on, instead of typing something like is in quotes, it will actually put in the current date and time. So you're saying this program started on
Today.
Yeah.
And then this is just telling us, or this is how many we want, and this is how many it's currently at.
Right. So it's saying while your break count is less than your total breaks, keep running that loop over and over and over.
2 seconds at a time.
Yes. Now, if we were wanting to do an hour, you would actually calculate 2 times 60 times 60 again, and because that is always in seconds. Then the web browser dot open, you know what that does.
Yeah, that just gives us a link to open.
Right. And these lines always confused me when you're like break count equals break count plus 1. I'm like, how can they be equal? But it's not really mathematical. It's saying take break count and add 1 to it so that your counter goes up. And that's it. Thanks for your time.